We must work through the courts, through legislation, through the ballot. This is what we've been talking about over these last few meetings, the necessity of registering and the necessity of voting. This is one of the most significant steps that the Negro can take at this hour, going to the ballot box. But I would like to give you a warning signal. I've tried to talk in militant terms for the last few minutes. But in the midst of this militancy, let us always realize that we don't have to hate as we try to straighten this situation out. Let us always realize that we don't have to become bitter as we try to straighten this situation out. And oh, my friends, if that is any one thing that I would like for you to remember this evening, it is the fact that somebody must have some sense in this world. Somebody must have sense enough to meet hate with love. Somebody must have sense enough to meet physical force with soul force. And if we will but try this way, we will be able to change these conditions and yet at the same time win the hearts and souls of those who have kept these conditions alive. And God is not interested merely in the freedom of black men and brown men and yellow men, but God is interested in the freedom of the whole human race and the creation of a society where all men will live together as brothers. No, we need not hate. We need not use violence. That is another way. A way as old as the insights of Jesus of Nazareth, as modern as the techniques of Mohandas K. Gandhi. That is another way.
It's an honor to represent Mr. Dan Goodwin from the Inland Real Estate Group. We're working with him and Dr. Carroll to talk about creating the Dr. Martin Luther King breakfast that started so many years ago at Benedictine University. And then when Dr. Carroll retired in 2015, the breakfast went away. And he had over 1,000 people to attend. He raised a ton of money from scholarships, and now we brought everybody together. When we talked to Dr. Carroll, I think I've told you the story. He said, Dan, if you're going to create a Martin Luther King event, it can't be a bunch of white guys doing it. So we brought together all these wonderful people in DuPage County. We had 25 people in February. And from that meeting in February, everybody said we need to make sure and have everybody involved in DuPage because Dr. King was about everybody.
Our Father and our God, we pause now to just say thank you. Thank you for bringing us together, black and brown, Native American, Asian American, Latino American, bringing us all together in this sacred place as we remember our ancestors, as we remember those who paved the way for many of our freedoms and our lives that we enjoy today. Let us never forget those who gave life that we might have a better life.
I can only imagine Dr. King being here for a civil rights meeting when you look up at the balcony there. And I also can imagine what it was like back then when blacks had to sit in the balcony and whites could sit on the first floor. And so those things are the things that we basically remember whenever we enter a room. Sir, when you said that it's been so long that we've had to have this fight. And when will it ever be over? Never.
Where were you in 1955? What were you doing? Think about that in relationship to where you are today.
In 1955, I was 7 years of age. I was at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church where Dr. King was my pastor. And when Rosa Parks was arrested, they formed an organization called the Montgomery Improvement Association. And Dr. King was elected the president. And the talk in Dexter was why all of these pastors in Montgomery, Dr. King just got to Dexter. Why are they making him the president of this controversial organization?
Hi, Ed Castillo. I'm a lieutenant with the Sheriff's Office. I joined the first one at Naperville Settlements. It was an awesome event, so I came to support this fantastic group, meet new individuals, work with people in the community. Today we're in West Chicago. They're hosting us here, and looking forward to another great night of meeting people, connecting, and engaging our community.
My name is Sarah Phelan. I'm the Executive Director of People Made Visible and the Director of the West Chicago City Museum. I was so happy tonight to be part of this amazing event and share a little bit about West Chicago's diverse history and how those of us who are Latine, Mexican, here in West Chicago have fought for a very long time to make sure that our stories were adequately represented, but also how it fits into the larger aspect of injustice and systemic inequalities within the United States.
When we speak of social justice, it's about recognizing that justice knows no bounds. It transcends race, religion, and ethnicity. It's a universal call for equality, respect, and dignity for all.
In the Islamic tradition, intention is everything. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said that actions are only judged by intention. That at the core of every moment in our life, there is purpose and there is meaning.
So I jokingly said to Mr. Wagner in a very serious way, I saw the email that said we would have fruit and muffins for you. And then I saw that we were going to all of these different places and experiencing authentic experiences. And so my CFO and I called Bailey and said, you need to do it our way, amen. So we hope that you've enjoyed the food, the fellowship, and the worship. God bless.
And so today, as we reflect on the leadership of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I would like to start out by a different perspective, looking at Dr. King. There was a General O.R.N. Bradley in 1948 after India's independence, and his observation on India's struggle for independence. He had quoted, "We have too many men of science and too few men of God. We know more about war than we know about peace. We know more about killing than we know about living." And so, to reflect onto these words, we see that education, living at a time where emphasis put on knowledge, we live in a time where knowledge is very accessible. But that is also one of our biggest struggles, is because having too much knowledge and too much information at our fingertips doesn't allow us to really reconcile, to understand what the reality of the truth is. And it is only when we reflect within ourselves and we reflect towards God that we can find the true values for humanity.